In the late 70s and early 80s, weekend TV schedules were packed with big family-friendly entertainment with formats that were simple and fun. Shows that will likely come to mind first include The Generation Game, 3-2-1, Blankety Blank, and The Price is Right. These were shows that drew in huge audiences and proved that with the right mix of personality, prizes, puzzles, and play-along appeal, game shows could become a central part of British popular culture. One of those shows that really got the balance right between pure entertainment and a charismatic host was Play Your Cards Right. Debuting in 1980 and based on the American format Card Sharks, the show quickly became a UK staple, built around a premise so straightforward it was insanely addictive. Higher or lower. With a deck of giant playing cards and the ever-charismatic Bruce Forsyth at the helm, the show turned probability into primetime entertainment, keeping millions of viewers on the edge of their seats week after week. In this video, we're taking a nostalgic look back at Play Your Cards Right, exploring how the format worked, why it proved so enduringly popular with audiences, the different eras of the show, and the key moments that helped cement its legacy as one of the UK's most beloved game shows. If you enjoy these deep dives into classic television, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now let's deal out the cards and take a retrospective look at Play Your Cards Right. As mentioned in the introduction, Play Your Cards Right was based on the American game show Card Sharks, which debuted on NBC in April of 1978. 2 pilot episodes were filmed the month prior to its official debut, which are very entertaining to watch. In the first episode, contestant Jack wasn't able to make any money from the final money cards round, but in the second episode, contestant Johnny bet all of the money on every single guess, eventually going away with an incredible $28,800.
It's a jam! Yeah! Oh yeah! My man.
Card Sharks has had 4 distinct runs over the last 50 years. Firstly, from 1978 to 1981, the show was hosted by Jim Perry, who also hosted Sale of the Century during the 1980s. The show then returned from 1986 to 1989, now hosted by Bob Eubanks, who is perhaps most well known for presenting the Newlywed Game for many years. 2 syndicated versions were also produced, one in the late 80s hosted by Bill Rafferty and one in the early 2000s hosted by Pat Bullard, and the most recent version of Card Sharks aired from 2019 to 2021 and was hosted by Joel McHale. The format of Card Sharks is largely the same as what Play Your Cards Right would use. 2 contestants competed using separate rows of oversized playing cards, with the aim of correctly predicting whether the next card would be higher or lower than the previous one. To gain control of the cards, contestants first answered survey-based questions posed to 100 people, with one player giving a numerical guess and the other deciding whether the real answer was higher or lower. Whoever won the question got the chance to play their cards, attempting to clear their entire row without making a mistake. Contestants could choose to freeze at any point to protect their position, but one wrong prediction or a duplicate card would hand control over to their opponent. The winner of the main game then faced the famous Money Cards bonus round, where they wagered money on a new series of cards by predicting whether each one would be higher or lower. Big wins were possible if contestants were brave enough to risk everything, and the format quickly became known for its tension, dramatic swings in fortune, and huge audience reactions whenever somebody decided to go all the way.
$2,250 bet lower than a king? Yeah! For $2,500.
The format was a hit right from the start, making it no surprise that the show lasted for so long. And as London weekend television began looking for new game show ideas, Card Sharks caught their eye and a British version went into pre-production in 1979. The show was renamed to Play Your Cards Right, and of course there was only one man for the role as host, the incomparable Bruce Forsyth. Bruce was already one of the biggest and most recognisable personalities on British television by this point, having spent years establishing himself as the king of light entertainment. Audiences adored his quick wit, effortless charm, enduring catchphrases, and ability to make contestants and viewers feel completely at ease. Throughout most of the 1970s, he was the face of the Generation Game on the BBC, where his mix of comedy and audience interaction made him hugely popular with family audiences. But by the end of the decade, Bruce had moved to ITV, and Play Your Cards Right gave him the perfect vehicle to continue that success. He brought an energy to the show that became every bit as important as the cards themselves. The very first episode of Play Your Cards Right was broadcast on the 1st of February 1980. Much like its American counterpart, the show's format was built around a deceptively simple idea, predicting whether the next card would be higher or lower. But what really made the format so entertaining was the way it blended suspense, strategy, comedy, and audience participation into one complete package. In the first series, two individuals faced off against each other, the same as Card Sharks, but from the second series onwards, this was changed to two couples. Teams would have to answer survey questions to gain control of a row of giant playing cards. The questions themselves often had a humorous edge, giving Bruce Forsyth plenty of opportunities for jokes and playful banter with the contestants. For example, in one episode, the question was this.
We asked 100 male strippers, do you think you should be paid extra for working in very cold places? Now, when I was at Chippendale...
One couple would then guess how many people gave a particular answer, while the other couple had to decide whether the real number was higher or lower. Whichever couple won the question earned control of the cards. Each team had a row of 5 giant playing cards and had to predict whether the next card would be higher or lower than the previous one, with aces being high and 2s low. If they guessed correctly, they could continue along their row, but one wrong prediction or revealing a pair would immediately end their turn and hand control to the opposing couple. Contestants could also choose to freeze at any point, locking in their progress and preventing themselves from slipping too far back if they got a prediction wrong. This balance between taking a risk and exercising caution gave the show much of its tension, especially when contestants were faced with awkward middle cards like 7s, 8s, or 9s. And whenever a pair appeared, Bruce would deliver one of the show's most famous catchphrases.
First game, higher than an 8! Oh! You don't get anything for a pair, not in this game!
The first couple to win 2 games went through to the bonus round, known as the prize cards and later renamed cash cards. This was where the really big money could be won. Contestants started with a set amount of points, later changed to pounds, and wagered part or all of their total on whether the next card would be higher or lower. The further they progressed, the more points or money they could accumulate, and by the time they had reached the final card, couples could potentially play for a brand new car. If contestants reached the final card with less than £4,000, they had the option to gamble everything in a dramatic double or bust finish, with Bruce famously reminding them,
But the rules are very strict here, it's all or nothing.
Like many of the greatest game shows, the brilliance of Play Your Cards Right was in its simplicity. The rules could be understood in minutes, meaning viewers at home could instantly play along, shouting higher or lower at the television from their living rooms. But despite its straightforward format, the show created enormous tension, particularly during the final round where fortunes could change in seconds. Combined with Bruce Forsyth's charisma, catchphrases, and ability to build suspense out of even the simplest card reveal, it became one of the defining British game shows of the 1980s and beyond. There were 3 distinct runs of Play Your Cards Right, all with Bruce Forsyth as host. The first was a run of 9 series from 1980 to 1987. The show was then rebooted again in 1994, where it would run for another 6 series until 1999, but this was originally intended to be hosted by Brian Conley, who actually recorded a pilot of the show. I haven't been able to find this pilot anywhere, but it would be very interesting to watch. Instead, Bruce Forsyth returned to front the show once again following his unexpected departure from the BBC. The show was revived one final time in 2002 by Thames Television, again with Bruce at the helm, although this version introduced a couple of small changes to the format that set it apart from the earlier series. The most obvious difference in the 2002 revival came right at the beginning of the show. The program opened with a quick qualifying round featuring 4 couples. All 13 cards from one suit were laid face down, and each couple selected one card. The 2 couples who picked the highest cards progressed to the main game, with the couple choosing the highest overall becoming the red team. Of course, it also gave Bruce Forsyth the opportunity for another joke. After eliminating the losing couples almost immediately, he would cheekily say,
"Oh, and the losers, such bad luck. It is such a shame. I can't tell you how sorry I am that you're not on the show tonight." Tough.
The main game itself remained largely unchanged, preserving the familiar higher or lower gameplay that viewers knew so well. The Brucey bonus was worth £1,000, and if a couple managed to win both games outright, the losing couple would leave with a consolation prize of a case of champagne before the commercial break. If each couple won 1 game apiece, the losing pair still got to keep the £1,000 they had earned from their victory, which I thought was a nice touch. One particularly memorable feature of the 2002 Cash Cards round was Bruce's habit of asking contestants absurdly difficult or completely pointless trivia questions before the game began. After they struggled to answer, Bruce would grin and say,
"Aren't you glad you don't have to answer a question like that?"
Another change involved what happened when contestants revealed a pair during the final round, as now the American push rule was introduced instead, meaning contestants neither won nor lost money if they revealed a pair, and simply moved on to the next card. This slightly reduced the brutality of the final round while still maintaining the tension. Although the 2002 revival only lasted for a single series, it demonstrated just how timeless the format remained. Even more than 20 years after its debut, the simple thrill of deciding whether the next card would be higher or lower still made for compelling television, especially with Bruce Forsyth guiding viewers through every dramatic turn of a card with his trademark charm and showmanship. Unfortunately, this 2002 revival would be the last time the show would be on our screens, and the final episode was broadcast on the 20th of June 2003, where the show entered the annals of game show history. Over the years since, we have seen a few glimpses of Play Your Cards Right on TV and even almost had a full revival. In 2005, Play Your Cards Right was featured on Ant and Dec's Game Show Marathon, a show where each week a different game show would be played. Other game shows featured included The Price is Right, Sale of the Century, Bullseye, and Family Fortunes. Game Show Marathon returned again in 2007, this time hosted by Vernon Kay, and Play Your Cards Right was featured once again in the final episode of the series. In fact, just a few years later, in 2011, a pilot was filmed for a brand new series of Play Your Cards Right, fronted by Vernon Kay, but this was unfortunately never commissioned as ITV felt the show didn't involve enough skill. Personally, I don't think a game show needs to involve that much skill to be interesting and successful, but ITV thought otherwise. Finally, from 2020 to 2022, 3 series of Alan Carr's epic game show were produced, where reworked and supersized versions of past ITV game shows will be played. Very similar to Game Show Marathon, and Play Your Cards Right featured in all 3 series. Despite these occasional revivals, Play Your Cards Right has never returned as a permanent fixture on British television, which is quite surprising considering how fondly the show is still remembered. Over the years, it has regularly appeared in polls celebrating the nation's favourite game shows, and clips from the series continue to circulate online, proving that audiences still have a huge affection for the format. In many ways, the show feels perfectly suited for a modern comeback. The rules are simple, the tension is immediate, and it's the kind of format that viewers of all ages can instantly understand and play along with at home. Of course, replacing Bruce Forsyth would never be easy, because so much of the show's success was tied to his personality and charm. But with the right host and the right balance between nostalgia and modern presentation, there's every reason to believe Play Your Cards Right could still work brilliantly today. Ultimately, the enduring popularity of Play Your Cards Right comes down to the fact that it captured everything great about classic British entertainment. It was simple without being boring, intense without being complicated, funny without ever taking itself too seriously. Whether it was the giant cards, the dramatic freezes, the audience shouting higher and lower in the studio, or Bruce Forsyth delivering yet another perfectly timed catchphrase, the show created moments that audiences genuinely remembered. More than 40 years after it first appeared on screen, Play Your Cards Right remains one of the defining British game shows of all time, and a perfect example of how sometimes the simplest ideas really do make the best television. Thanks for watching, everyone. Revisiting Play Your Cards Right was a real joy, and I had so much fun reliving the charm and personality it brought to British screens for over 2 decades. Who do you think could successfully host a modern revival today? And if ITV ever did bring the show back full time, would you watch it? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. There are plenty more nostalgic deep dives into classic television, game shows, and entertainment history coming soon, so please stay tuned. Many thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.